With little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today, we're going to go over I.Am.Root, and he is here in chat with me today. If you guys want to join the fun at Twitch, you can come find us Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, 9 to noon on the West Coast. We do these live. Otherwise, of course, you can watch them on YouTube, which you're probably doing right now. And so I.Am.Root is a non-voice. Sent me over his Defense Up picks. We're going to run over this one. He's got some pretty good stuff in here, but I didn't get a whole lot of time to proofread it, so it's going to be one of those kind of off-the-cuff kind of deals. We do that a lot here at Stream. Okay, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, what kind of mood I'm in. Ups and downs today. Ups and downs. If you're watching the stream recycle, you probably know we were off to a rough start, but we're seeing what we can do. Okay, let's get some music playing. And I'm going to bring this down in my ear just a bit. Maybe that was too much. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so team number 1 is a Mercs team. I love the Mercs. I'm a big fan of the Mercs. This one isn't going to hold water, though. It's too small, it's going to get blown up, but it's a filler team, and you have your Taskmaster invested in the most, which he's the strongest character of the bunch. They're pretty old, so I can't really recommend that you continue investing in this team. I think that this team isn't going to get a rework anytime soon, and I think that they are so old that they're probably just going to be pushed out of your lineup eventually. We're going to get more and more options and stuff. Maybe you will see Taskmaster being used on some sort of a hybrid build, but I don't expect it. I think he works best with the Mercs, and if you don't already have him up to 400, 500, 600 level, it's pretty much don't bother tweaking him anymore. So this is just a filler team. However, none of them are war ready. That's something you could do, but maybe not. I don't know. It kind of depends on where you're at with the payday. You know, if you're still working on payday, then yeah, build up your Mercs, you know, and get that payday going. But if not, if you have payday finished and this is where you're at with these guys, then don't touch these guys. Just leave them as a filler. I probably, honestly, at this power level, I probably wouldn't even make them war ready. I just leave them in the slot to be a team that's better than shield guards, you know? Okay, so if you're building this team up though, and you want to know how to do it, if you want to know how to go crazy on it, you take Taskmaster and make him a skirmisher, and you put all the other Mercs as strikers, especially if you're running the not Black Bolt, the Bullseye version of this team, like this right here. Another thing you're going to want to do, and this is something, Root, that you could do, switch places with Taskmaster and Riot Guard. Riot Guard has adjacent deflex that he gives off, so you want him in the middle. Taskmaster doesn't do anything adjacent, so you want him to the outside. Bullseye is kind of squishy, so I like him to the outside. Now, Killmonger is native as a Raider ISO, but on this team, again, striker. You can leave Lieutenant as a healer, but I like putting them all as strikers and just really pulling the damage potential out of your Taskmaster. Okay, so that's what I think you should do with this team. As this team gets bigger, you start doing things like subbing in Shuri for Bullseye. And then later you're going to take and sub out Shuri and put in, who is it, Ultimus, to help prevent the skilletary teams when you get into the higher levels. But yeah, I think this is fine. Leave it where it's at. You're not doing, you got crazy ass ISOs here. So this is, you know, you're kind of screwing that up, and you have overinvested in the wrong ISOs for sure on Bullseye. For sure, you did it wrong on Bullseye. There's a case to be made for Striker on Striker on Taskmaster because of his basic, it copies and clears, so that could be okay. There's a case to be made for making Lieutenant healer because he has healing in his kit. I don't think that Riot Guard should be a healer. I don't think he should be a fortifier. I think he should be a skirmisher all the way. And then of course with Killmonger, he can be a Raider, so it's not a huge loss there, but I'm going to give you a C- for this. Those ISOs are whack. Your placement needs tweaking, but as far as investment levels go, don't invest in this team. They're too old and they're not going anywhere. Team number 2 is the AIM team, another good filler team. I actually use my AIM on offense, and you can use AIM on offense with Ultron to do some neat things, like when you see those Pimtech teams with the super powered up Ghost and everybody else's crap, you can bring in an underpowered AIM team with Ultron and they control it and take her out. It's actually pretty cool. Let's see this one. So move Graviton to the outside, keep your 3 minions to the inside. They all do adjacent stuff. It's not even worth going into what they do, but they do stuff. Healer on Assaulter. Is that Assault? No, this is Assaulter. Assaulter has Skirmisher. That's correct. Scientist, not Scientist. Well, is it Researcher? Yeah, Researcher is Skirmisher on here. That's fine. Skirmisher's a powerful ISO. If all else fails, you don't know what to do, make him a skirmisher. You know, worst case scenario, you're gonna get vulnerables on the field. So I actually like Researcher as a healer, I believe, because she does have healing built into her kit, but it's not a lot. So Skirmisher's fine, actually. I'm not even gonna dock you for that one. It's such a close pick. And then healer over here on your taunting tank here. Was that aim guard or something? These minions aren't even worth remembering. That's fine. Healer's good. She does have healer in her kit. However, you do want her placement change with Graviton because she does adjacent healing, which is kind of weird for a tank to put your tanks in the middle. But whatever, it works best that way. Healer on Scientist Supreme, okay, that's fine. And Striker on Graviton, I like that. So you're getting vulnerables on the field. That's good. Yeah, this is fine. A placement tweak. And I think you're going to be okay. I don't think it's worth changing those ISOs. Technically speaking, this one might be a better pick as a healer, but it's so minutiae. And this team isn't valuable enough to really invest in. So give it a little placement tweak. I'm going to give you a B for that. Team number 3 is the Fantastic Four with She-Hulk. I like She-Hulk in the center so that when she taunts, you get like adjacent splash negative effects on other members of the team, which actually speeds up She-Hulk because she throws those negative effects back when they land on other members. You want to hope that they come in with like a Black Order and don't realize that mechanic that She-Hulk is designed to defend this team against Black Order. At this level, I don't think Black Order, they're going to hold up against Black Order, but that's kind of what she's designed for, is take those negative effects and the splash damage on the rest of the team, throw it back in their face, and taunt and mess up everything you're doing. You have invested in Invisible Woman, and she is, in my opinion, probably the only worthwhile member. Although, again, we're in late stages. She's an old character. If you're newer to the game, don't build Invisible Woman. She's just not worth it at this point. But you built her because you were doing things at the time. Hey, what's up, Viper? Yeah, Viper's coming up next. He's here to get roasted. Okay. So I like Skirmisher and Skirmisher on... Okay. Mr. Fantastic as a Skirmisher and Invisible Woman as a Skirmisher is what I like. I like Striker on Thing and Johnny. So you got half of those right. I think you should swap those ISOs. Johnny does damage. You want him doing damage. The mechanic of this is that they call lots of assists. Half the team is a skirmisher, so you get lots of those triple hit combos. And so you do your strikers as the heavy hitters and your skirmishers who don't do as much damage just to place those vulnerables on the field. She-Hulk as a healer is fine. I actually like her as a fortifier, but she doesn't have a lot of synergy with anything. You could run her as a skirmisher too. Actually, I think I like her as a skirmisher probably at this point in time. That extra vulnerable on the field is probably best. But it's not worth changing the ISO. Just make them war ready. I don't know. You could change her. If you're serious about this team, it might be worth it to change her to a skirmisher maybe. But honestly, just build her up so she's tough enough to withstand things. This is an okay team. I want a placement change. I want Johnny to the outside. I want She-Hulk to the middle. And fix those ISOs, make them war ready. I don't think it's going to be worth it for you at your level to change the ISO on She-Hulk. I think just keep her as a fortifier. The problem is, even on this team with the speed up mechanics built into it, she is kind of slow. So a lot that you could be doing better. I'm going to give you a C+ for that. It's not a terrible team, and you've got decent investment and stuff, but you could just make this team way more effective. Okay, team number 4 is a WepX missing Omega Red. You put on Cyclops in here. Cyclops calls Wolverine in for that assist. Wolverine's getting some good damage. So you're probably just getting him in there for the, like his second move is calling Wolverine, I think, for an assist. I don't remember how that works. I almost never use his special, so I'm not familiar with how that functions. But I think that's what you're doing there, and that's a thing to do. That's fine. Honestly, this is just a team that's kind of fast. They don't work near as well without Omega Red, but if you don't have them, you don't have them. I think you told me that you're going to be getting them on the next pass, so hopefully you do, because I'm having a lot of fun with them. And when you get Omega Red, I really think you should take them and put them on offense. But for the time being, this is a great defense to have. It's a good place to put them in and just fill them in. Let's see here. As far as placement goes, you're fine. I think that's a good placement, actually, is you've got your squishier members as far away from the tank as you can. If I were going into this, I would probably go after Lady Deathstrike first and then Sabretooth, just because I could kill Lady Deathstrike easily. And then Sabretooth is one of the biggest damage dealers on the team. You got a good even power investment aside from Cyclops, and unless you're planning on getting magic and building that uncanny team, I don't recommend building up Cyclops anymore, so he is just a placeholder. Striker, Raider, Skirmisher. Okay, I like Skirmisher on the Silver Samurai. I don't like Skirmisher on Sabretooth. I think he should be a Raider 100%. Raider on Wolverine is perfectly fine. He can also be a striker. I think either one is equal. If you're building this team up from scratch and you want to go Skirmisher right here, and people are putting Skirmisher on him because he counterattacks and places vulnerables, and you have Sabretooth as a Raider, you're going to have plenty of vulnerables on the field, so you can change Wolverine to a striker. He'll get the double tap off of that, and his basic assist does speed up on himself. And so you make him a striker, and he ends up going a lot faster, and he gets to that ultimate and deletes people a lot faster. Striker for Cyclops, I like that. Raider is a secondary choice, but I run him as a striker just for the damage boost. And then Striker on Lady Deathstrike is 100% correct. So they're war ready. Your ISOs on these two are off. Well, this one, let's say this one. Raider's fine for Wolverine, but this one is wrong. You got to change him to a Raider. He has so much crit damage and crit chance built into his kit. Make him a Raider, make that really function well. I think that's going to pop off quite nicely. Yeah, I think it's just the one ISO needs a change. So pretty good. I'm going to go A- on that. Team number 5 is Wave 1 Avengers. Perfect placement. Good development in your team. It looks like you might have Black Widow. I always stumble on her name. You might have Black Widow being ready for maybe a skeletal build or something for offense. I don't know. She's beefed up. I don't know why, but she does get use in other places. So if you're going to swap her into a skeletal build for offense, then you're doing the right thing. I like that Thor is the second strongest person. Honestly, you could probably build them all up to like 80k. And this team is going to get some value. They are old. You don't want to go crazy on this team anymore. If you're a new player, I can't recommend you go nuts on this team. But it still functions. And we see this everywhere in war. We see it everywhere in war. So, and that's because it works. It's a team that requires a specific counter or a couple of specific counters. They're getting pretty easy to beat anymore, though. They really are. And that's just how it goes. They're old. And they're probably not going to get a rework anytime soon. But you got perfect placement, good ISOs. I don't like Raider over here. I think he needs to be a striker. Otherwise, that's good. Otherwise, I think you're doing great, man. Change that one ISO to a striker to make it work. But honestly, a level 4 investment, I'm not sure if it's worth it. Raider's a pretty good pick for him. He has AoEs. So, yeah, at this stage of the game for you, Root, I don't think you should change that. But I will dock you for it because it is supposed to be a striker. So A- for this team. Pretty darn good. Okay, Heroes for Hire in the number 6 slot. I think you should move this team a little bit further into the back. I think everybody should be putting their best stuff at the very back because these are the teams that matters, right? The Heroes for Hire. It's like you're talking with your alliance, trying to figure out who's using what to beat what Hero for Hire or a Weapon X or an Infinity Watch or an Eternals. Those are the 4 teams that matter in war defense right now. By the way, I don't think you should be putting those teams on defense. I think you should be putting Heroes for Hire on defense and saving all those other teams for offense. But anyway, slide this to the back of your roster. That's fine. Fortifier, perfect. Healer, I like Skirmisher better. Healer is the secondary pick. I just think at this stage of the game, we're either experiencing heal block or they're dying and reviving. And so the rejuves just don't really get much value. He is a healer, like he does have healer built into his kit, so it is boosting his heals that happen. But I just don't think I like having that vulnerable on the field better. Raider, Striker, Skirmisher looks fantastic. I'm gonna give you an A- for this team. Take them up to 400, make sure that somebody is bringing in one of those meta counters. Team number 7. All right, this is what I like people to do with their Pym tech, with their overdeveloped Star-Lord, with their Ultron that's sitting around slowly gaining red stars. This is what you do. You throw them in on this hybrid mashup like this. This just requires a big team to come in and bust them up. You know, you got to stop and think, how is this team going to play out? You have tech villain synergy with Ultron. You've got a tech character over here. You might think about doing like Shuri in here, because she's got, well, Shuri's not going to have villain tech synergy, is she? She's just going to have tech. Maybe Vision. If you over invested in Vision, don't build Vision. For you new players, don't build Vision, please. He's terrible. But for us older guys, we could throw Vision in here because it's tech spawns with defense up. Shuri is an okay pick. Star-Lord's just kind of old, but who knows? Maybe he's gonna get a rework or something. Maybe you want to build him as a part-time fit for the Ravager build. Don't do that either. That's a waste too. But Groot's got him built up, so he put him in here, and there's some synergy with that. It's something to do. You got him as a skirmisher, which on this build is great because you want more vulnerables out there for people like Ultron, who should be a striker. Groot, come on, Root. You know he should be a striker. Level 5 healer on Ultron. He's so slow. Oh man, I mean, he does get speed up, so if he gets going, maybe he'll start healing people, but he's got minions to do his healing. Make him a striker. Skirmisher over here, healer, striker on her. Yeah, that's okay. So I don't like this one ISO. I think you should go ahead and make Star-Lord war ready because you're just one off. I mean, you've got substantial investment in him, and if that nowhere event comes back and we find out that Star-Lord's being used, they're probably going to make you take him to 1.4 ISO anyway. As far as placement, sure, looks good. Why not? I mean, she's the dodgy one, so she's at least separating half the team. You've got your deflex going on these two characters. That's okay. You might, you know what? I kind of think that you should put Ultron right here so he gets the deflex from Doc Ock, and then put Ghost right here, and then Yellow Jacket, and that way Ultron gets those deflex. Yeah, I think that might be a slightly better place, but I kind of like having Ghost in the middle too, getting those deflex. She's going to be the last one standing. She's going to be such a pain in the butt because if she doesn't dodge, she's going to block. So it works either way. Let's fix that Ultron ISO, and then I could give you an A for this team. But as is, you need this war ready and you need to change that ISO. So I'm going to give you a B+ for that. Okay, team number 8 is an Emmarauders with Minerva. I like putting Minerva in here when your Strife is kind of weak because then Minerva can revive him. But honestly, you got a pretty decent Emmarauder team going here. I think you should invest in a little bit of gear and Strife. Take him up to 13 or something. Make him a little bit more scary. He needs to be able to hold. He's the linchpin of this team. Once he folds, the whole team folds. He is really low in power. I tell people that Strife should be between Emma and Sinister in power. That gives you a solid team to work with. And he's like, what, half of what Emma is right now? So yeah, you need to beef him up a little bit. Also, he needs to be a fortifier. 100% make him a fortifier, especially because he's going to die and be revived from Minerva. So he'll revive with that barrier. He's got barrier built into his kit. He uses it very well. Make him a level 5 fortifier. Or 1.4 fortifier at least, you know, war ready on fortifier. Skirmisher, just, I don't know. I do love Skirmisher ISO. It's not a good fit for him. The rest of your team's looking good. I think that you should swap places with Mystique and Emma so that Emma can take the hit because she heals a lot. She's really hard to get through. And you want Mystique to keep her evades to give to Sinister so he can spread it to the rest of the team. So placement change, ISO change, and build up your Strife just a little bit to make this team great. This is an old team though. A lot of people are just removing it altogether. They're using Emma with like Eternals on offense, using Sinister on some sort of a hybrid or something like that. So it's something to think about. But yeah, you're doing okay. I think that's like I think this team's just a B. You're close, but it's just a B. Oh, whoops. What just happened? What in the world just happened there? Hold on a second. Oh, I pulled that out of the lineup. That's weird. I've never done that one before. Okay, so we went from 8 and we're gonna go to 9. Okay, that was weird. My bad. It happens here. It happens here. All right, so there's number 9. I hope this is your number 9. Here's an Eternals. You put Emma with you put Hela with Loki in here, and Doom with the Eternals. I kind of don't like it when people are putting Eternals and Doom together. I think you can make 2 teams out of that because usually when your Eternals are built up, people are just going to come in with like an Eternal killer team, and that'll usually kill Doom also. So you can make 2 teams instead. Now you put Hela and Loki in here to give your Eternals okay, so Loki's in here to give Cersei a little bit of speed to beat the next team. I think you should replace Hela with Emma. I could come in here with a symbiotes and replace Venom with Captain Marvel. I could one-shot Loki off the field, and then her secondary blast after going into binary would kill the Greg, giving me 2 kills right off the bat, giving those symbiotes lots of speed, and I could probably just start tearing into the Gregs and then take out Cersei and Doom and crush this team with my symbiotes. So I think it's a liability. However, if people aren't smart and they don't put in a really fast character to get that quick kill with the symbiotes, they might come in here going, ooh, Greg, with a full symbiote team, and then Icky just wipes them off the mat. So you never know. You never know how it's going to play out. But I do think you should take Doom off of this team and spread it out. And I think that you should... what in the world do you have him as a Raider for? Raider and a Striker? That is weird. Huh. Root, I'm curious how that works for you. Everybody I've ever seen is just doing Skirmisher on Cersei and Striker on Icarus. So that's interesting. I wonder if you know something I don't, because that is such a drastically different approach than what I see before. So I don't know. I'll probably title that in the beginning, like, what's going on with these ISOs? Because it's so weird to see this. Yeah, I'm curious if you know something I don't. You're an envoy, and I know you know your stuff. So damn, oh, he's sending me a wink emoji. Okay, so he might know something I don't. Oh man, now I'm curious. Now I'm really curious. Unless you know what he's doing, make her a skirmisher, make her a striker. I'll get back to you guys if this is something worthwhile or if he's just being a crazy guy. Doom's a striker, that's right. He's a skirmisher, that's correct. She's a skirmisher. I would put her as a raider. I'd put her as a raider, but like I said, skirmisher's a powerful ISO. You might just be putting her as a skirmisher to get more vulnerables on the field, but her as a raider is going to put vulnerables on the field too. So I do like her as a raider. Okay, so I'm going to give you a C+ for this team, and here's why. It could be 2 teams. You're taking a risk with Hela, and I have no idea what's going on with your ISOs. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt from one non-void to another that you know what you're doing with those ISOs. And I'm going to give you a C+ for this team, but really you should be breaking this team apart and making 2 bigger teams. All right, team number 10. Secret Avengers with Fury. Get Fury off of this defense. He is a liability for the same reasons the previous team. Too many summons, too easy for players to come in here with those speed teams that get kills and turn meter and all sorts of stuff out of knocking him into the red. So get him out of there. Put somebody else in here. I don't know. You could put Namor in here or something. I don't know. Somebody that pops off early with get some vulnerables out there that Kestrel could work off of. Honestly, the best thing you could do with this team is take them off of defense and put them on offense. I think, is it New Warriors that comes in and beats this, or is this the one that we use to beat New Warriors? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Somebody was talking to me about it the other day and I got confused because they were talking about a New Warrior hybrid that beats amazing things and got me thinking about stuff, so I'm confused. Anyway, you have him as a skirmisher. I like him better as a raider. He has crit in his kit. If he's going to be running on defense, he's going to be going through the motions in order. I think you should make him a raider. So he crits and then he has like turn meter rewind or gives off energy. I think it's energy. Gives off energy to adjacent tunes. Speaking of which, if he's giving off energy to adjacent tunes, you might want to swap places with him and the new Falcon. The new Cap Sam. Okay, striker, skirmisher, striker on her, healer on her. The rest of the ISOs are great. I think you should do a placement change if you're going to leave them in. I think you should do an ISO change if you're going to leave him in. I think you should take him out if you're going to leave this team in. And I think you should take this team out and use it on offense. And then you can keep him in there. And then you can keep him as a skirmisher because you're controlling where he goes. You get to control where the vulnerable gets placed. And I think that's a better move. All in all, I do think it's a bit of a waste because it's a great offensive team and your alliance could use your help smashing people with this. So I'm gonna go with another C+ on this. It's a powerful defense, man. It's just there's a lot of things you could be doing better here. Most of all is moving it to offense. Okay, So I am very curious to know what you guys all think about his ISO choices on this team and how it would work and what you would do to beat this Eternal team. What do you guys think about my grade on it? Because this one's interesting. I just don't know what to think about those ISOs. Yeah, this has been Defense Up. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. Subscribe for more of these videos. I'm putting out about 5 videos a week. And if you want your defense featured on Defense Up, please contact me in my Discord, links in the description below. I actually have got caught up on the backlog, so you could probably get in as soon as next Tuesday if you want. So contact me there. And remember, guys, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and others too, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.